and we talk about the 3 different types of releases in our introduction program. We talk about mukhtalas, sakin and mafrukh, and our preference is mukhtalas or sakin. And so we also talk about the khatra in the release. There's a forward khatra and there's a backwards khatra, and the backwards khatra is more important than the forwards khatra. So today we will demonstrate that, and maybe I can show you something that all of you can take away in terms of practicing. So when we come into, I like to call it coming into the release. So first we aim, then we bring our bows up, then we come into our draw. Once we're at full draw, this is when we start working into the release. So mentally, we're separating our shooting cycle or our shooting process. So there's aim, there's nock, there's aim, nock, draw, and then there's the release. Okay? In the release, with as much control as possible, you want to feel the pressure slipping from your thumb, and you're moving backwards. Okay? And then as you come backwards, you want to try come straight back. See how this? Straight back. You don't want your hand to go out. You don't want it to go down or up. Straight back. And if you look at me, when I go straight back, my hand is actually ending up behind my ear. When I go straight back, my hand ends up behind my ear. And the khatra in the release is that I open backwards, almost like the opposite action of turning the key. We're going this way, that I open out. And I make a crescent coming behind my ear. So as I come here, I'll look at the target, I'll raise, I'll draw, and now I start working my release, right? And we can come and we can do that again. So I'll look at my target, come to my draw, and I'll start working my release. Okay? And so this is the video of release. What's important mentally is that you mentally switch from coming to your draw to working through your release. And we see this with the mukhtalas and the sakin forms of release. So sakin means to pause, and mukhtalas means to continue. So you can almost visualize or think about shifting gears in a manual car. You go from gear 5 to gear 4 to gear 3 to gear 2 to gear 1. So your lower gears, your gear 3, 2, 1, they're slower, they're more controlled, and they're more powerful. So when I come with my stance and I look at my target, I can imagine myself in gear 5. As I move through the process, I slow down. So 3, 2, 1. I slow down my gears, right? This is mukhtalas, but there's no pause in my movement. I'm always moving through. But I'm slowing down, all right? Then sakin is where you physically separate the draw from the release. So I come here, I come to full draw, I stop, and I start working through my release. That last release was not the cleanest. I rushed it slightly and I apologize, but I hope that helps. Core learnings from this video is to come to your draw, then separate your draw from your release mentally. And when you separate your draw from your release, we looked at the 2 types of release, sakin and mukhtalas. Mukhtalas is that you shift gears mentally. As you work backwards into your shot cycle, you start slowing down, coming into more mental and physical control. And sakin is that you clearly separate it. I hope that helps. I hope you see a difference in your shooting. Not just a difference in your shooting, but a difference in your life and the way that you process things. Because there's more to this in terms of what it's doing mentally and physically and to a level spiritually. And inshallah, we can go through those things in more detail in future videos, inshallah.